Look around the room and find something blue. Easy. Took you a second. Now here's something that should not be true. For most of human history, blue basically didn't exist. Not the sky, not the sea. Ancient people looked directly at both, every single day of their lives, and, as far as we can tell, did not see blue. I know how that sounds. Stay with me because this is one of the strangest facts about being human, and it's hiding in plain sight. Let's start in nature because there's a clue there. Blue is astonishingly rare. Think about it, green is everywhere. Red and yellow are all over the place, but genuinely blue things. Almost nothing. The sky isn't a blue object, it's scattered light. The ocean is just borrowing the sky. Even most blue animals, butterflies, peacocks, that stunning bird, aren't actually blue. They have no blue pigment at all. Their feathers and wings are structured to bounce blue light back at you. It's a trick. Nature almost never bothers to actually make blue. And if a color barely exists in the things around you, you don't get much reason to name it. This is where it gets wild. Go back to the oldest texts we have. Ancient Greek. Homer, writing the Odyssey, describes the sea as wine dark. Wine dark. He describes sheep as the color of wine and honey as green. Scholars combed through his work and found something bizarre. Loads of words for black and white, plenty for red, and essentially no word for blue. And it wasn't just Homer. Ancient Hebrew, ancient Chinese, early Icelandic sagas, again and again no blue. It's one of the last colors to appear in almost every language on Earth. There's actually a pattern here, and it's eerily consistent across cultures that never met. Languages name colors in nearly the same order. First you get words for dark and light, black and white. Then always next, red, the color of blood and fire, the color that matters most. Then yellow and green come along, and blue. Blue is almost always dead last. Sometimes it never arrives at all, and blue just gets filed under a kind of green or a kind of dark. The one big exception proves the whole point. The ancient Egyptians had a word for blue because the Egyptians were the only culture that manufactured it. They couldn't find it in nature, so around 4,500 years ago, they invented it in a workshop, grinding and heating minerals into the first synthetic pigment in history, Egyptian blue. They made the color, so they needed the word. Everyone else with no blue to point at simply didn't. And once humans did start chasing blue, we paid insane prices for it. The richest blue in the medieval world, ultramarine, was ground from lapis lazuli, hauled across the world from a single region of Afghanistan. It cost more than gold. Renaissance painters used it so sparingly they'd reserve it for the single most important thing in the painting. Which is why, in 1,000 old masterpieces, the one figure wearing gorgeous deep blue is the Virgin Mary. She got the good paint. Everyone else got whatever was on sale. Now the obvious question. Were ancient people actually colorblind to blue? Almost certainly not. Their eyes worked exactly like yours. The physical light hitting an Egyptian shepherd's retina was identical to the light hitting yours. The difference wasn't the eye. It was the word. And there's real evidence that without a word for a color, you genuinely struggle to pick it out. Researchers tested a tribe whose language, like the ancients, doesn't clearly separate blue from green. Shown a circle of green squares with one obviously blue square among them, they had real trouble spotting the blue one. But show them two greens that look identical to you and me, and they find the odd one instantly, because their language carves up green into shades we've never named. They see what they have words for, and so do you, which lands us somewhere genuinely unsettling. Blue was never missing from the world. It was missing from us. We had to invent the word before we could fully see the thing. The sky didn't turn blue the day humans finally named it. We did. So here's the question I can't shake. If an entire color, right there overhead, every single day could stay invisible until we gave it a name, what else are we walking past, right now, simply because nobody's named it yet? You can't see what you can't say. and the sky is very, very patient.